Alright, what is up, everyone? I'm going to be recording my first YouTube video. We're also streaming. We're going to be running this list of Yogg from MH with some MH3 cards. We've got Grist, Voracious, Larva, which is a great new card because of the other inclusions in this deck. It's a green 1-drop for Flare. It's a 1-2 with Death Touch, which is great. And it also flips into a very, very powerful Planeswalker if you can enable it. It's kind of hard to enable, but we have Chthonian Nightmare in this deck, another card from MH3, which is pretty much a recurring Nightmare effect, but it's a little more fair with the energy. But it is a mana cheaper, so that really easily flips Grist, because Grist triggers on creatures entering from the graveyard, so that means itself or other creatures. We've also got Springheart Nantuko, cutting Wall of Roots almost entirely at this point. Nantuko's great. Nantuko creates a army of 1/1s, and overall is just a great, great card. And then we've got Flare of Cultivation. Flare of Cultivation synergizes with all these 1-drops. You sacrifice them to get lands onto the field. As a result, this list has 4 basic forests, 2 basic swamps, and that is a lot of basics for a normal Yawgmoth list, but it is very, very powerful and helps synergize with the Springheart. Overall, this list is very, very synergistic, honestly even more so than a lot of Yawgmoth builds I felt, because we have the Chthonian Nightmares with Grist and Flare. Flare helps put Grist in the yard. Young Wolf is great with Flare. All of it works together very, very well. Springheart works great with Flare as well as fetch lands. And so it just really, really works together. And Springheart creates an army of 1/1s itself. So it's really, really easy to chord aggressively with Springheart Nantuko. We also still have some Agatha Soul Cauldrons. They've been a little bit less powerful recently, but they're still in there. In the sideboard, we've got Soulless Jailer for Mono Red Storm, which has been powerful recently, as well as Reanimator, different effects like that. Stops Cascade. It's a very versatile sideboard hate card. It does turn off Undying, but that usually doesn't hurt us that badly, where it's kind of the difference between dying and not dying. That's what Soulless Jailer does. We have more Thought Seizes for Ruby Storm, Fatal Pushes, Pick Your Poisons for different decks. So there's a lot of artifact enchantment removal. Thought Seizes help interact with that. We also have an Endurance and a Scavenging Ooze. And then Fulminator Mages are pretty much just for Titan, but also hit Thran, other stuff like that. Now, I am probably not going to be doing a full league in this video, or if I do finish it, I'll have, piece it together. But we're just running this. That's a bit late for me, but I did want to play some Yogg. So, we're running it back. If you guys have any questions, please ask in chat or in the comments. That'd be great. Never done a YouTube video before, and it's only my 4th stream overall, but it's been really fun. A lot of people have followed, a lot of different stuff has been going on, and overall, Yogg's just been a lot of fun recently. Eventually, I'll have to start focusing on Pioneer more for the RC. That's in DC, and that'll be a lot of fun. But at the moment, I'm going to focus on Modern just because there's so much to do. I think that this build of Yawgmoth feels really good. In my experience, Birthing Ritual hasn't been great. That's another key Yogg card. Alright, so we're on the play. No idea what we're playing against. A great hand, though. This is going to be a turn 2 Grist, unless there's some interaction. But even if there is interaction, we have this Orcish Bowmasters. 2 Innkeeper, 2 Marionette over Artist, and some other stuff. So yeah, someone just said, asking about 2 Innkeeper and 2 Marionette. I think, in my opinion, I think that the new lists that are trying to put Marionette Master in and Innkeeper, I haven't been a fan of. I tried a list that was on, I think, 2 to 3 Marionette Master and 4 Prosperous Innkeeper as a way of replacing the Blood Artist. And I wasn't a fan of it because I think that in the matchups where we're trying to combo kill our opponent, we want to do so as efficiently as possible, and it really just it is not constituted very well when you have more combo pieces involved, even if there's more of them in your deck. Marionette Master is certainly good for like those more mid-rangey decks, but also it doesn't gain you life too, which is another key thing about Blood Artist. And it doesn't trigger on your opponent's creatures either. So overall, I've not been a fan. Okay, so we have a Mishra's Bauble coming down. There could definitely be consideration to not grabbing like an Overgrown Tomb with this, and instead grabbing just a Swamp. And I think that might be the move. I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm just going to be grabbing a Swamp, but I don't think I want to block here. I got to think about this one. This is a little interesting. We could chump block. We could also just take 2. I'm just going to take the 2. They might bolt and make it 3 damage, at which point we're going to go down to 14 life. They didn't, though. So I think we're happy with that. I'm going to fetch. And we really want to see a land here. If we can see a land, that'd be really, really good. The nice thing is that we are going to be seeing a... we're going to be getting an extra trigger on the Orcish Bowmasters from their upkeep draw, which is going to be really nice. Okay, they're actually going to Lava Dart our Orcish Bowmasters, which is fine. It's not fantastic for us. The fact that we don't have a land here is not fantastic, but a nice thing here is Chthonian Nightmare is going to allow us to get back the Delighted Halfling. I'm going to sack the Orcish Bowmasters, or the Orc Army, and I am going to be sacking the Delighted Halfling to grab 2 basics. And I'm going to grab a Swamp and a Forest. Good evening. Thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. So I think I'm going to have the Swamp interplay. And no, we're going to have the Forest interplay. We have more green spells, but it doesn't matter too much because they're both going to be in play this turn. So now we don't have any creatures on board, but we'll be able to slam a Yawgmoth this following turn. And Yawgmoth has protection from Monastery Swiftsphere because Monastery Swiftsphere is a human. Okay, so they have 2 Monastery Swiftspheres, a DRC. DRC only has 3 types right now. Okay, they're casting a Lava Dart. It's a pretty fast start for them, which isn't super favorable for us. They do now have 4 types in the yard, and they're going to hit us for 4. We're going to go down to 12, which isn't exactly great for us. This is a pretty... I mean, this is slower than usual. If they do sack the Lava Darts anytime soon, we're also in a not-so-great spot. Okay, so a Springheart Nantuko here is a pretty not great draw. We could go for a Grist, but that doesn't do much. We could go for something like Springheart Nantuko, sacrifice it for Orcish Bowmasters, but I just don't think that's necessarily a great line. I think our best bet is to just play like this unprotected Yawgmoth and block their creatures, pretty much. They only have 1 card in hand, but they do have 2 Lava Darts in the yard. And they can flashback the Lava Darts without losing Delirium, which is relevant. They're up to 2 cards in hand. We are not in a fantastic spot. We might be in a bit of trouble here. I mean, we're definitely in a bit of trouble here. But post-board will have Fatal Pushes, which might help. And that's kind of it. We don't have a lot in the sideboard for this. Okay, well, we do have Soulless Jailer in the sideboard. Okay, so they are going to... They're putting some stuff down. They've got a Monastery Swiftsphere. I mean, this is pretty much going to have us dead. But we'll wait a second just to see. Oh, they're probably going to bolt the Yawgmoth and then Lava Dart it. Not 100% sure. We'll see. Yeah, they're going to bolt the Yawgmoth. They're going to Lava Dart it. That's going to put us to... So we go to 9. Lava Dart, Lava Dart. Yeah, okay. So they've got lethal on us, so we're going to just be done. Off to 1 loss, but we've still got 2 games left. Want the Fatal Pushes. Want the Scavenging Ooze. Want the Reclamation Sage and the Endurance. There is an argument for the Soulless Jailer, but I don't think I want the Soulless Jailer. I don't think I want the Springheart Nantuko or the Blood Artist. Because they all are pretty slow, or they die to Lava Dart pretty easily. The Orcish Bowmasters kills DRC pretty well, so I'm going to keep in those, I think. And Grist isn't fantastic. It does just have Death Touch, though, so I think that might be good enough. And Chthonian Nightmare, I think, is just going to be a little too slow. So I think I'm going to send it like this. I'm trying to think if I want Soulless Jailer over Chthonian Nightmare. I think I do. So I think that this is how I'm going to like this sideboarding. And we'll see what happens from there. It's a interesting matchup. The fact that Yawgmoth has protection from humans is pretty relevant. The Underworld Breach card is banned in Legacy, so it's very, very powerful. And we're just trying to stay alive, pretty much. I think it could be important to keep the Blood Artist in. I'm not 100% sure, though. We'll keep this. And something that could be interesting here is we want this Flare of Cultivation to be a land. So I'm going to do a little bit of a interesting play, which is I'm going to actually fetch for a Dryad Arbor here, and I'm going to sacrifice it to Flare of Cultivation. So this isn't ramping me, but it rather essentially turns my Flare of Cultivation into a basic land. And so I'm going to have this forest and to play tapped. And I think this is a pretty cool play. I definitely think it is pretty interesting. They are going to play something. DRC? Okay, so DRC is great because we're just going to Orcish Bowmasters it. And we're not going to give him a chance to do anything fancy. We're just going to do it now on our turn. This means it just dies. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, so it's a good thing that we did it now, as opposed to on their turn, where that mutagenic growth would deal us damage. So they still have the DRC around, but we can also Fatal Push it in the future. And we also pretty much just played an Orcish Bowmasters as a way of getting mutagenic growth out of their hand, which is a pretty fair trade. Like, we're not going to be too mad about that. Okay, Amp Raptor is pretty powerful, and they got a Slickshot Show off of that, so that's pretty good for them. They are going to cast the Slickshot Show Off. Are they going to do anything with it? No, they are not. Okay. We got a Overgrown Tomb. We're going to shock in that Overgrown Tomb. We are going to cast Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And we are going to cast a Fatal Push when they don't have any protection or anything, and just kill that. We are going to not do anything, and then they have Delirium, but the cool thing here is that we can actually take out their Delirium after they've been forced to attack, and then trade like their DRC with our Orc Army or something like that. Okay, so they're going to Galvanic Discharge. That means our Orc Army enters the graveyard. Question is, will they have a second? Okay, they're Lava Darting. We are going to force them to either kill the they're going to have to either Lava Dart it back and get it. Okay, so yeah, so they're choosing to sacrifice a mountain to put our Orc Army into the graveyard, which we are fine with. They're going to hit us for 5 here. We're down to 11. They're only at 2 cards in hand now, which is notable. And we are at the same spot again where we can play a creature and take out their ability to really kill it. They have a bunch of cards in their yard. I am going to go with the Soulless Jailer as a bit of a safer play to stop anything fancy like a what's it called? A Underworld Breach. Although it's a little less fun than the Yawgmoth, but I think it is the correct line. And then we're going to do the same thing again of we're going to try and take out their Delirium after attacks, assuming nothing big changes. They might have a Galvanic Discharge here, and if they don't have a Galvanic Discharge. A Galvanic Discharge would have allowed them to kill our Soulless Jailer, which would not have been good for us. There are 3 cards in hand, down to 1 card in hand, or down to 2. Oh yeah, down to 1 card in hand. We're going to force them to attack, and then after attacks, we are going to exile their Harsh Mentor. This is going to turn off Delirium, and we are then going to block their DRC. Do they have something fancy? Okay, they're bolting us, and they're going to try and save their DRC by putting a creature in the yard. They didn't. We're down to 8. We're going to take 4. Yeah, I mean, we are not in a fantastic spot here. So, we are at 4 life. We can't really... So, we could fetch here. And if we fetched, it would mean that we died with Bolt off the top, which isn't fantastic. But if we don't fetch, we can't really play this Yawgmoth. So I am going to fetch. I'm going to grab the Surveil land, and I'm going to be looking for something. I'm not totally sure what I'm looking for here. A Grist the Hunger Tide. We are going to put this Grist into the graveyard because the Grist in the graveyard works well with Cauldron. Okay, so now we're going to cast a Yawgmoth. We are going to exile Grist the Hunger Tide. And then we're going to put a counter there. We're going to uptick, mill a card. We really don't have much room to activate Yawgmoth's ability because we're at such a low life total. But we do have a lot of creatures at this point, so it's pretty easy for us to block. They can't cast the Lava Dart because of the Soulless Jailer, which is good. We are dead to Bolt. And we just have to hope they don't draw Bolt, pretty much. Okay. So they called that one pretty early, I will say. I don't think that they really needed to concede there. We were dead to a lot of cards, but they did not want to play it out. So I am going to bring in the Blood Artist because I think it's probably key to us winning some amount of games, of being able to kill their board and gain a bunch of life. On the draw, I think Grist might be a little bit too slow. And Endurance is probably fine. Reclamation Sage, I think I'm going to keep. Agatha's Soul Cauldron, Soulless Jailer, I think I'm a fan. I could see an argument for bringing in another Springheart Nantuko, but I'm not going to. So we're on the draw. We are going to be fighting it out. They're choosing to play first, which makes sense. This is a slow hand. I think it's too slow. This is a significantly faster hand. So I think we are going to be in the best situation by shocking and then fetching here, which is 3 life, which is notable, but it is going to be better to have more lands out, and the Springheart Nantuko can produce a lot of blockers. We want the Death Toucher, so we are going to cast the Delighted Halfling here. And I'm then going to sacrifice it to Flare. I'm going to put the forest onto the field and the swamp into hand. And then I'm going to just pass the turn. Hopefully they don't do anything too scary this turn. So this upcoming turn, as long as they don't do anything absolutely bonkers, we're either going to be playing this Grist or the Springheart and a okay, they are revealing a Slickshot Show-Off, which is pretty bad for us, I will say. We don't have any instant speed interaction for a Slickshot Show-Off right now, at least. So that Slickshot Show-Off is going to be a real problem. We could play the Grist and just uptick and create a 1/1. I think Grist kind of effectively gains us life, and it might be the key to winning this game. Springheart Nantuko. We can... This is a bit of a... Yes, this is some nice nighttime Yawg. I was bored, so now we're playing some Yawg. So this is an interesting decision here of, do we want some chump blockers, or do we just want to start getting Grist down? I think I'm just going to get this Grist down. Get it ticking up, and go from there. So this means we can go Springheart Nantuko next turn and Grist, and then also play the Windswept Heath. They are playing the Slickshot Show-Off and a Monastery Swiftspear. So they have 3 cards in hand. They have 3 cards in hand, which can be a lot of damage. The question is, are they going to put it all on us, or put it all on the Grist, or split it? I think the best decision is probably to try and go as much damage as possible at us, but they might just want to try and deal with the Grist. Okay, so I think they're going to Galvanic Discharge the Grist. Yeah, they're Galvanic Discharging the Grist, which means their Slickshot Show-Off is a 3/2 now. The Grist is down to 1 loyalty. Oh, they only dealt it 1 damage. Oh, and then they're bolting it. Okay. Oh, they're bolting us. Okay. So then they're going to deal 3 to the Grist with a Swiftspear and 8 to us. They're down to 1 card in hand, though. So we're not in a fantastic position here. We're going to play the Springheart Nantuko. We're going to... We're going to be able to get multiple 1/1s. If we play the Grist and then bestow this upon it, and then play a fetch, we can then get 2 1/1s. Well, we really only need 1 1/1. I believe it is going to be better to bestow this because I think that we care about the Springheart Nantuko a good amount. And by bestowing it, it means we're more likely to have it stick around. So I'm not going to play the fetch. We are going to put this on top. And I'm just going to... We are not going to copy it. So we're just going to hope that they can't just kill us here. And we're going to just block 2. They go to 2 cards in hand. They don't have Threshold for Barbarian Ring still. Okay, they're tapping. Okay, that's a pretty strong card here, unfortunately. So that Slickshot Show-Off is going to deal 3 damage in the air, unless they do something else. And I think they're probably going to be doing something else. Oh, the extra energy also produces even more cards. Okay. So they only hit a Scalding Tarn off of it this turn, which is good for us. Or they are going to attack with everything. So we do get to block, and only take 3. And this means the Grist dies. Grist has Death Touch, so... Oh, but it doesn't die because of the extra toughness. Look at that, the nice little benefit. Now here, because we are not going to copy. We are going to sacrifice an insect token to kill the Slickshot Show-Off. And then we're going to chump block with the Grist again. And we're just hoping they don't have a removal spell. They are going to be able to fetch, which gets them down to 6 cards in graveyard. Ooh, okay. So they're getting to 7 cards in graveyard now, which means they do have the ability for Barbarian Ring, which gets us to effectively 3 life. I don't think we're getting out of this one, unfortunately. But it is possible. This is why I've been holding the fetch. Oh, they kept it on top. Okay, interesting. It's got to be a pretty good card. Okay, so it's a Galvanic Discharge. They now draw a card. What are they doing? If they Galvanic Discharge, okay, they get us down to 4. Yeah, okay, so this kills us here. Oh, it actually doesn't kill us. We still have the Chump Blocker in the Springheart Nantuko. They're out of energy. They're attacking us. So we have to Chump Block with the Nantuko. The Barbarian Ring is rendering us at effectively 2 life. An Arid Mesa. Okay, so we are still around, just barely. We're going to uptick. Now, we have a couple options here. They're at 1 card in hand. I think our best option is Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze can gain us life, but I am going to wait until their turn to grab it. So that way we can just get some extra advantage there. Are they going to sack the They didn't sack the Barbarian Ring. They are attacking with Monastery Swiftspear. We are going to go to blocks. And then 4 blocks, we are going to Chord. And Chord of Calling for Scavenging Ooze is going to get us a 2/2. We can't actually activate the Scavenging Ooze this turn at all because of their Barbarian Ring. We have to wait until we have extra mana up until they can't remove it. Okay, yeah, so we can't actually activate it because if we went to activate it, they would just kill in response. So we're gonna create another 1/1. And we could theoretically play this Delighted Halfling. If we play Delighted Halfling, it means we only get 1 to 2 activations of the Scavenging Ooze off. I'm going to start off just by hitting their Slickshot Show Off in their graveyard with my Scavenging Ooze. Force them to use their Barbarian Ring. Okay, they didn't use the Barbarian Ring, which means our Scavenging Ooze is safe. A Slickshot Show Off would be pretty good. With another spell, it would be 5 damage. So it's really kind of an interesting decision here about how much we want to use this Scooze. I'm gonna keep holding it back. The fact that we have 2 swamps here is definitely a hindrance. I'm gonna hold the Scooze back overall. I'm not going to attack with it just yet. Okay, so they're fetching in their upkeep. Do they have another? No, they don't. So they just wanted to get a land out of their deck, pretty much. They have 2 cards in hand now. And we got there. Wow, that was a close game. I did not think we were going to win that game. We fought it out, but I was very surprised there. But I think it goes to show, I think a lot of well thought out decision-making definitely is rewarded. For those watching, I do want to say thanks for watching, and also thanks for all the follows, everyone. But I have paused the music because I am recording this as well for YouTube. So we're on the play. I think this is good because we're going to go for a more explosive hand. Okay, this is good. We're going to put this 3rd Chord back. Springheart Nantuko is an awesome card. 3 Chord of Calling is a lot. That first hand, I think you could defend it. I think it would be correct there to do the Dryad Arbor play and turn that Flare into a land. But I felt like I wanted to do something better, frankly. And I think this hand is that. We have Young Wolf Flare, and that means we are going to be able to get a pretty aggressive start down. So I'm going to fetch Shock and go 1 of each. 2 streams in 1 day. Yeah, no. I am grinding mostly because I'm bored. I was thinking, what do I want to do? And I thought, I'm going to play some Yawgmoth. And then I was like, might as well stream it again. So I appreciate everyone that's watching. Casting Flare of Cultivation is a lot of fun on turn 1. And this time I'm going to put the Swamp into play because it's pretty surefire. I cast the Springheart Nantuko and then want to play a land following it up. So it's pretty good. Okay, we still don't know if they're on at all. Mr. Brosi 2003 too, notably, is my first follower on Twitch. He's been here since day one. Day one was also 3 days ago, but day one nonetheless. Okay, they're evoking a grief, so it might be double Chord of Calling, but it also could be Springheart Nantuko and Chord. Yeah, you could say it was day 0 overall. Oh, wait a second. They did it without playing a land, so they're probably on Living End, or they made a mistake. And both of those are funny. Did they forget to play land, or are they playing Living End? Oh, they are stacking it a Flare of Malice. That was quite something. Okay, so the fact that they played the Fellmire here makes me think they're on some sort of 0 land deck, which would be interesting. But I'm not too sure if they're on... Okay, no, they do have lands in their deck. I wasn't sure if they were doing something silly. What is going on here? Oh, they're playing Sorin. I have not actually seen a Sorin in play yet, so I will say that's a little interesting. Forest. Worst part about this Urborg is that though it fixes our mana, it makes it really annoying to tap all my lands. Okay, so if they go like turn 3, what's it called? Turn 3 Necro Dominance, that'd be pretty crazy and also a little annoying. Okay, only a Dothy Voidwalker. Are they going to extort me too? They are extorting to gain 1 life. And then they're also going to gain 1 life from attacking. And now we have a little bit of an interesting decision. We probably want to Chord here. And we are going to Chord for a baby Grist and just kill their guy. Because this guy seems pretty good, and I'd prefer them not to have it. And we get to keep the baby Grist around, too. So, we're going to get our little guy. They might be Flare of Malicing us here to prevent us from getting such a free... This may be Mono Blackburn. Okay, it could be Mono Blackbird. That would make sense. People are not used to the Flash Grist yet, and it's a little funny. So the unfortunate thing here, though, is that because of the Dothy, we don't get to, like, untap, Grist, do anything like that. Okay, so they're casting a Flare of Malice. It doesn't matter what we sack here. So I am going to sack the Young Wolf because it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, so they're down to 1 card. We're down to 1 card. Our card is Chord of Calling, though. It is more important for us to have this just as a creature, so we can't bestow it, unfortunately. But next turn, if we can draw land, we're going to be in a position where we can Chord for Yawgmoth. We're going to attack them for 1 because we can't actually block the Dothy. Get them down to 20 life. And they have 1 card in hand, so we might be able to be fighting back here. Just yield through this turn. Actually, we probably shouldn't yield. Because if they want to Thoughtseize us, we want to Chord for 0. Grab a Dryad Arbor. Are they going to attack with Dothy? They should attack with Dothy. But there's a chance they don't. Okay, they're attacking with Dothy. We can't block, so we're going to go down to 13. And if they like Bowmasters us, this is really bad. Orcish Bowmasters, yeah, okay. So this is the bad thing about Nantuko. Nantuko is very good, but sometimes you do just draw it really late, and you just don't have any lands, and then it doesn't do anything. We drew a young wolf, or not a young wolf, we drew a Agatha Soul Cauldron. Agatha Soul Cauldron is interesting here. We could start pumping up our Grist. We could also Chord for a Bowmasters ourselves and kill their Bowmasters. Which would be interesting. I've been wanting just like a scavenging using the main deck a bit recently. It's just kind of like just a good target a lot of the time. Also gains life. We're still up a little bit on time, but time shouldn't matter in this matchup, it looks like. I'm gonna play a Agatha Soul Cauldron, and I'm going to just pass the turn. This makes it a little hard for them to attack. Yeah, that Orcish Bowmasters was a bit of a backbreaker there. 2 cards in hand again. We're fighting the good fight, I will say, but there's not a ton that we can do. Yeah, they are just attacking with the Dothy again. Let me just go down to 10. We've got a couple turns here, but the forces are compounding on us. We're going to hit their Grief. Are they going to kill our Grist in response? No. Okay. So here we could go grab a Grist. We could go grab Dryad Arbor and grab Grist, and then sack Dryad Arbor, kill Dothy Voidwalker, and it disincentivizes them from killing our Grist, because then it would go into the graveyard. So we're going to do that. That seems like the best line for us. It loses pretty hard to a Bowmasters, but we kind of just lose pretty hard to a Bowmasters here anyway, so it's kind of just doesn't matter in a way. Like we just kind of couldn't beat the Bowmasters here regardless, is how it works. We could go Eladamri, but I think I like this plan. We're going to sack this. Do they have the Bowmasters? Actually, it doesn't lose to a Bowmasters, because we just put a counter on it in response. There's so much going on here that's a little hard to keep track sometimes. So even if they do have Bowmasters, is it correct to just force their hand? Okay. Now, if they have an Undying spell, we're also in a bad spot. Actually, we have the... Okay. So they are going to fire off the Not Dead After All, but then we're just going to Agatha Soul Cauldron it. So they have something else here. Okay, we have a Agatha Soul Cauldron now, and they fixed the bug about it creating a roll anyway, which is good for us. Okay, so they didn't have a Bowmasters. They have 2 cards in hand. They are going to probably hit us down to 7. 7's pretty low, but now we have a Grist and we have a Grist, which feels a little silly to say, but it is true nonetheless. Are they going to kill our Grist and make our... Okay, they are going to kill our Grist. And this means they probably have a removal spell, but they might not. We're down 8. They have 1 land, and they're going to cast the 4-mana one. Oh, no, they are not. They are going to cast a Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Okay, so we are going to go to a low life total. Wow, that is bad for us. Sheoldred the Apocalypse is a pretty good Magic card. So we are now, so we did mill a Yawgmoth, which is pretty decent. I'm gonna just cast this, just ramp. Casting Cultivate is just a pretty good card a lot of the time. Oh wait, did I not click 2? Okay, Forest into play, Forest into hand. Okay, so we're going to go to 4 life here, which is pretty not good for us. There are 0 cards in hand. We might be able to fight through this by proliferating our Grist and then -2ing it. Are they going to attack? They probably should attack. Interesting. Okay. So they're offering the trade here. So I could go to 4 life. I could also kill their Orcish Bowmasters. I could kill their Orcish Bowmasters or go to 4 life. They have no cards in hand. They could draw a card off the Castle Locthwain. I'm going to take 4. Or not take 4, I'm going to go to 4. And just let it play from there. They are betting that they're going to draw like a Fatal Push, I think. Okay, they take 1. And then they gain 2, so they're up to 23. And did they draw Fatal Push? If they draw Fatal Push, it's really bad for us. I think the attack there was wrong, notably. Okay, so we got rid of our Dryad Arbor, correct? Yes, we did. Okay. So this... this land doesn't actually really represent much. What it really means is it means we can discard a card and we can proliferate. We could attack here, but I don't think I want to. And we could activate our Yawgmoth really at any point because our insect token is a Yawgmoth, but I don't think that's really that good. This draw engine they have of the Castle Locthwain is pretty powerful. And they drew an a Necro Dominance, which is pretty good. We don't have much of a way to punish that. I don't think we really can do much about that, unfortunately. So we're just going to let him do it. How much life are they willing to pay is an interesting question. They drew 19 cards. And they went straight to cleanup. So it's interesting that they went straight to cleanup. That seems like a misplay on their part. Yeah, it's got to be a misplay on their part. They are discarding pretty hard down to hand size at this point now. Because their hand size is 5 maximum. It all gets exiled, so we don't get any like juicy things for the Cauldron. But I am going to... Could we proliferate a good amount? We could proliferate up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we couldn't proliferate that high, so we can't really ultimate Grist on them. We can't do a lot here. So how much like free interaction do they have? Okay. They're choosing Malakir Rebirth. What are you doing, though? Okay, so they didn't realize that the Flare sends their Orcish Bowmasters to the graveyard. Which, I mean, it sends it to exile because of Necrodominance, which is a little silly on their part. They have another one. What are they doing here? They are casting Fatal Push. Fatal Push is good. We can't do anything about Fatal Push. We are going to cast Grist the Hunger Tide. We're going to update Grist. So they don't actually draw any cards anymore, so they're pretty restricted on what they can do at all. Yeah, that was a pretty big misplay. They didn't get much out of that. Oh, we got a triple hit on the Grist. That's pretty sick. So Grist has a ton of insects in this deck now because of Baby Grist and also just itself. So that is a pretty strong thing on our side. We don't really want any of those. We want creatures in our graveyard for Grist's ability. So we're going to exile their Sorin. Yeah, so they forgot to set a stop on their end step for their Necrodominance is what it says in the chat. So they didn't get to do much there. And I'm going to uptick this Grist. And if they have a way of killing us, that'll be interesting. If they had like a Soul Spike or something, like that would deal some damage. What do they deal? Discard at end step? They discarded Swamps, Shieldridge, Griefs, Necrodominance, and Sorins. A bunch of random stuff at end step. None of it really mattered that much. There was no like Soul Spikes or anything spicy like that. Do they want to pay more life to Necro? I think they're probably going to pay life to kill themselves here for the bit. No, they didn't. Okay. They drew one card. Interesting. So now they're thinking. They have their end step, and then they're going to get ultimated by Grist, as well as a bunch of lethal attackers. They probably could have won if they kept Shelly. Oh yeah, for sure. If they kept Shieldred around, I definitely think they could have won this game. I think their big mistake was attacking with Shelly. That probably would have killed us. There was a chance though, if we drew somewhat decently, we would have been able to proliferate our insect token to 2 loyalty and then -2 it to kill their Shelly. And I think they probably saw that. So there is a chance that the Shelly wouldn't have like locked this game up per se. Okay, they're casting an Orcish Bowmasters. Do they know that this has 2 power? You are free to deal 1 damage to my guy. Okay. So this really, they are okay. I'm going to discard a card and proliferate. Like, we really don't need to do this here, but I'm doing it just to show them. Yeah, okay. They didn't want to play through that. So, post sideboard, we're going to go with Force of Vigor. They can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Permanent cards or graveyards can't enter the battlefield. This would be like fine-ish. I'm going to go over Reclamation Sage. Thoughtseize, I think, is good against them. I think taking out the Necrodominus before it comes down is probably pretty important. Orcish Bowmasters means Springheart Nantuko is going to come out. Same with Blood Artist. And then we're also going to take out probably one Grist. I think they're probably going to bring in some graveyard hate, so I'm going to take out one Chthonian Nightmare. And I think this should be good. Oh, actually, should have bring in the Fatal Push. We're going to submit Grist, and we're going to cut a Grist. Fatal Push is important. Fatal Push is definitely important. That little editing right there was just quick editing, just to have it in our deck. We're going to cut. Okay. Yeah, so that sideboarding definitely wasn't perfect, but it was better than nothing. And because they are like a scam deck, I think I'm just going to keep this 7, just even though it's a little bit slow. It is just like a set of 7 cards. And we'll see what they've got. I do appreciate all the follows and everything people are sending in. Now, it will be interesting to see what they do here. They did keep 7. They played a Boggart Bog, and they played it tapped. Okay, so this is good for us. A slower start for them is good. Hopefully we can draw like a Fatal Push. That's pretty good. I'm going to play the Verdant Catacombs, and I'm going to fetch a Surveil land on our end step. We probably need a stop on their second main phase. Set stop. We're setting a stop on their second main phase because we don't want them to get their trigger on the Necrodominance. We just want something to cast here. We don't need another Yawgmoth, so we're going to throw that in the graveyard. We could put that in our hand, but we don't want to. I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs. I'm just going to pass back. They are going to attack with Sorin, probably, and then go from there. This next turn, we're going to be able to Grist, and that's pretty good for us. We really want them here to like just play the Necro since we have an answer. A nice Necrodominance would go a long way for us. They are going to deal us 1 damage. Okay. And they are casting Necrodominance. They cannot pay the extort. And we are going to fetch for a forest. So we could have Force of Vigor there, but I'm going to save the Force of Vigors for when we're taxed on mana, rather than let them just like go crazy with it right now. Because we also have like the Chord to pitch to the Force. We're going to play the Grist right now. Casting and Grist the Hunger Tide. We also now have this Young Wolf to pitch to it if we want to. We've got a lot of options. Okay, I think they're going to Flare of Malice. No, they didn't. But we milled a Flare of Cultivation. Oh, this league is going to go late. We're only on game 2 and it's almost midnight. So now they have this Sorin. If they flip the Sorin, flip Sorin's pretty good, it looks like. But we do have this Grist to deal with that. We'll see if they're going to flip the Sorin. They'd probably need an external source of life gain. And they don't seem like they're all in on this at all. It seems like they're trying to go with some other cards that are just like more generally good. Like they're not trying to use like Soul Spike, which you can exile 2 cards from your hand to deal 4 damage to any target. And that's like it's not a good card, but it's pretty good with Necrodominance. Gains you life, deals damage to your opponent. I mean, if you draw all 4, you can deal 16 damage to your opponent at instant speed. Okay, they're doing 2. Dauthi Voidwalker. Are they going to extort? They are going to extort, so they've gained 1 life. They're probably going to attack with this Sorin. Oh, and they do have Soul Spike. I had mentioned Soul Spike, and I was like, they don't have it. They do have Soul Spike, and they're using it to kill our Grist. Okay. They're going to attack us for 1. We're just going to take it. And they're going to flip here and have a pretty formidable Planeswalker, which is not good for us. Yeah, are they just going to -1 deal like 5 damage to us? Probably. Huh. Interesting. Weird that they dealt all that damage to our insect token. A little surprising. We could play Boggart Trawler. We could play a Yawgmoth. They only have 1 card in hand. So I think I want to play the Yawgmoth because I think that it's unlikely their 1 card in hand is going to be a spell that kills Yawgmoth. It could also be that because they haven't done much, the 1 card in their hand is a kill spell for Yawgmoth. But you live and you learn, and we'll find out the hard way. So we have no things, because I also just don't want it to be like I don't want it to be like a Bowmaster, and then they like kill our Young Wolf or our Boggart Trawler that we cast. Okay. They are upticking for Sorin. They're gaining 3 life. Just for fun, maybe? Oh, okay. So they are using a Fatal Push on our Yawgmoth. Okay. They're Fatal Pushing our Yawgmoth. They're going to put us down to the... They're going to put us down to 7. Yeah, this Dauthi Voidwalker having Shadow is pretty good, because we can't block it. Yeah, drawing a Thoughtseize here doesn't feel good. I'm going to cast this Young Wolf. I'm going to cast this Boggart Trawler. And I'm going to exile their yard. And we don't have much to do here. I mean, yeah, we pretty much lost this game. But we'll think about it a little bit. We'll see if they've got anything. Last game, we probably... Yeah, we'd definitely be very dead if they had shot us instead of that Grist. I would agree. Okay. I don't think we're beating a Sheoldred here. I mean, they're going to hit us to 3. Yeah, we're going to We're going to scoop it up here. I mean, that Thoughtseize didn't feel good, but also I don't think anything was going to get us out of that spot. I think Thoughtseize is probably good to take Necro out of their hand. Blood Artist, I think I want the Grist. It's a little difficult here to really say what we want. I think Force of Vigor is like a necessary evil. Because they're Dauthi Voidwalkers, I think I'm just going to cut the last Nightmare. And I'm also going to cut a Young Wolf and for a Scavenging Ooze. Just because I think Scavenging Ooze is going to be a... You didn't board in, pick your poison. I think that we are more so focused on making sure they never get a trigger off rather than pick your poison. I think once they get a trigger off Necro, game's over. So I think our best bet isn't going to be like answering after the fact. And I think pick your poison only answers it after the fact. But I do understand like why you would think, oh, you got to board and pick your poison. And I could be wrong. I think it's a new format, so people are going to make mistakes. But I think that it is correct that Necro isn't a card, hey, how do you beat Necro once it's in play? I think it's a, how do you keep Necro from really getting a trigger off? It's kind of like how in, it's like against Reanimator, how you're never like, oh, how are you going to kill Atraxa? The goal of playing against Reanimator is to make sure Atraxa never gets onto the battlefield. You're going to keep it in their graveyard as much as possible, or keep it in exile. Like, you're trying to get it off the field, or you're trying to prevent it from getting on the field in the first place. You think it's fine for one turn? I could see that. I think one way to find out, and I think we'll see. This hand, I think is fine. It doesn't like beat like they're more like aggressive stuff, but I think it's pretty defensible. They mulliganed. So, since they need to get value off over a few turns early managed, like you said. Yeah, I think I could be wrong for sure. I think we'll have to see. Maybe pick your poison is worth it. Now, I think the ordering here is interesting. We're on the play. I think I'm going to go Young Wolf turn 1. Actually, I'm going to go Grist turn 1. They mulligan to 5 cards. They put Leyline onto the field. Okay. So, good. That's the reason we cut the Chthonian Nightmare. I am going to play Young Wolf. Young Wolf has less value than Grist against Leyline Void because it's just a 1/1 with no text as opposed to a 1/2 with Death Touch. So we're just going to play out the Young Wolf, pass turn, and then we're going to play Verdant Catacombs, and we, depending on this draw, I think we really want to land here. Ooh, okay. So they have a Grief. What are they going to do with the Grief? They might just take Grist. They exiled Sorin to Grief's ability. If they have like Grief, Leyline, and Necro, then it's like, yeah, okay. Okay, not dead after all. What are they going to take? I think they're probably going to take other Grist or the Orcish Bowmasters. They took Grist. Okay. I'm going to play Grist here. And I'm going to try and go for a Surveil land. Yeah, I'm going to go for Grist and a Surveil land here as a way of dealing with the Grief. and I'll worry about whatever else they're going to do later. They only have one card in hand, notably. So they are going to attack. We are going to block. And if they have a Fatal Push here, kind of sucks for us, but we're doing the best we can. And we also have the Orcish Bowmasters as well. Yeah, so they've got a Fatal Push. They're down to one card. They still have no lands. So we have the Orcish Bowmasters as a way of killing it too, because Orcish Bowmasters deals damage. Okay, we get to Surveil. We're looking for probably a land here. We don't want another Young Wolf. Oh. I thought it was their inset. Whoopsie daisies. We could either play 2 1-drops and take 4, or we could try and trade our Orcish Bowmasters for their Grief. I think that there's a very real chance they don't do anything if we hold up the Bowmasters, considering they know about it. So I'm going to play these out and let them just hit us for 4. They have no cards in hand. We're just going to take 4, down to 15. We're going to play this land, and I think we are going to attack for 2. So now we're just trying to stay alive a little bit. Are they going to attack into the Grief? They are. They're attacking for 4 at us. We'd go down to 11. They'd go to 15. Yeah, so we would die in this race. I'm going to go for it. So we get a 1/1. We're going to try and kill the Grief, and it could be that they have like a not dead after all effect. They're ordering as Orcish Bowmasters and then an Orc Army token. They cast a Malakir Rebirth on it. Okay. So this time it's going to enter as a 2/2, which is definitely smaller. And enters tapped, and they lost 2 life. So enters tapped. And we lose life. We're down to 14. We are top decking, but I think our top decks are definitely better than theirs. Okay, like that. And we're going to sack this card, and we're going to draw land. And I'm going to kill this now. So this means, okay, cool. So that's dead. They have 2 cards. And we have this Grist now. There's a couple, I mean, if they go like land Necro Dominance, we're in a bad spot, but that does not look like what's happening. So we are going to be slowly taking over this game from here. Necro Dominance, as always, is something that can get them back in the game. Scavenging Ooze kills them, notably, though. Scavenging Ooze is a card that can certainly kill him. But I think it's better to play Grist the Hunger Tide. We're going to update Grist. They mill the Chord, or we mill the Chord. We're going to attack them down to 13. They have something. It can't be a flare because I don't have a creature to sack. I don't know what they're doing, but it's something. So now we're just trying to wait him out, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna hit him for 3. Oh, they're doing it second main phase. Something. Nothing. Still nothing. I'm gonna uptick again. We milled another Chord of Calling. And we're attacking for 3 again. And we are going to cast Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze helps us kill him. This next turn we can deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can't kill him, but we can get pretty close here. I think they're just going to cast a Grief. No, they cast a Sorin. Okay. So Sorin's a 1/4. I'm gonna do this Grief. Put a counter on my Scoos. Okay, so they have a Flare of Malice. They want to sacrifice the Sorin, but that doesn't make a ton of sense. Whatever they're waiting on, I don't really know what it is. This has been a grindy game. They're about a minute lower on clock than us. So we could sacrifice a creature. Yeah, so I'm going to sacrifice one of our insect tokens to kill their Sorin. And if they, in response to that Flare of Malice, that's not fantastic, but it's not like game ending. Okay, so they're adding mana, which is alright. We don't really care too much about mana. We are going to attack them for 6 damage. And before damage, I am going to pump this. No, I don't want to pay 2 life. Nothing big happening right now. Now Necrodominance really doesn't do much. Yeah, so we got this game. And it is already past midnight. Wow, I've already been streaming for an hour and a half. But, so we are already 2-0. Hopefully we can get another 3 in a row. That'd be pretty sick. But we'll see. We will certainly see. Overall, felt like it was a good league, or a good match specifically. Thoughtseize, Scoos. I've been a really big fan of Scoos recently. I might one over like an Nantuko in the main deck. I don't know. Just spitballing. We have the play, so I'm gonna keep this. So the reason I'm keeping this is because of the combo of, or the power behind Springheart and Chord of Calling. And then also Boseiju is a very good spell against like Amulet Titan and stuff similar. So I'm just gonna play this fetch. I'm gonna wait until they're in step. So they are fetching. They have a Misty Rainforest. It's blue-black. They might be mill. Okay, they are blue-black, but I don't know what they're. Yeah, so they're playing mill. We have a main deck. We have a main deck Endurance, which is really good. So this We really don't care about surveilling a ton right now. So I'm actually only going to grab this Overgrown Tomb. I think it's more important that we save the surveilling for later. They probably are going to hit us with an Archive Trap. Oh, they didn't. Okay. Now here, we could play the Springheart Nantuko. They do run Fatal Push, though. So I think it's more important we play Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Agatha's Soul Cauldron means that if they try to surgical extract anything, we can actually get it out of the graveyard, and they aren't able to surgical it, which is pretty good. It also just generates a ton of value from them milling. So we're pretty happy with that. And we're also going to remove this stop that we had from our last opponent's game. So hopefully they don't just like play like 2 crabs here and just like go really turbo on the milling. Well, so they played a second crab. They're going to mill us for 12 cards here, which is a good chunk of our deck. Oh, they're milling themselves. Whoa. I was not expecting them milling themselves. And I am going to hit their Creeping Chill. So, me hitting their Creeping Chill means that it doesn't get a trigger, which saves us some extra life. We might have wanted to save this for something like a Hollow Vine, which definitely could be the case, but I think I did that a little prematurely. Bloodvast and Gravecrawler, okay. And another Creeping Trail. Okay. So they still have a Wonder. And then they have a Bloodghast, but they already played their land. They're casting something for a blue. Venture Deeper to mill 4. Psychic Frog, Hedron Crab, a couple lands. Okay. So they are down to 3 cards in hand. Nothing big has been hit so far. I'm going to cast the Nantuko. I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs. I'm going to grab a... I'm going to grab a Forest, and I'm going to cast our Delighted Halfling, because this gives me the second black necessary for Yawgmoth. And I'm thinking about taking out this Bloodghast, but I'm not too worried about the Bloodghast, I don't think. Okay, well, so the thing is that they're layering the Bloodghast last, which is a little interesting. So we're going to let the Hedron hit first. They hit another Bloodghast. They have now hit a Hollow Vine. So the Hollow Vine's the real problem, so we're just going to let the Bloodghast come back. Oh, they chose not to. Okay. Are they going to shock? We'll see. They're down to 26 cards in their deck. And then also, notably, this turn we can Endurance on this following turn, which is pretty good. Their Bloodghasts don't have haste, so I don't know if they'll want to use them. Okay, they hit another Vengevine, and they're going to get a Necroamoeba back. Okay, and they hit a Prized Amalgam. So they're going to trigger their Bloodghast, they're going to trigger their Prized Amalgam. Okay, all the creatures have flying. This triggers their Prized Amalgam. So do they have 2 creatures to cast? Okay, a Citrus Supplier. Oh, they have 3 Vengevines in their yard. And they are going to cast a second creature. So yeah, our Endurance is like just kind of a turn too slow here. And we were on the play too, which is a little crazy. We are going to hit one of their Vengevines. But they're going to hit us down to 8. I don't know if there's much we can really do here. Because those have haste. And flying. We're going to go down to 4. So we pretty much need to combo kill them, is what it comes down to. So if we go for a Yawgmoth, we will need a land off the top here. Yeah, we'll need a land off the top. Or we put the Yawgmoth under the Cauldron by exiling Psychic Frog. So that might be a cool line here. So a bunch of delayed triggers from the Prize Amalgam. Okay, so I think our best bet here is we are going to exile a Psychic Frog. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, so we're going to exile the Psychic Frog. We are going to discard a card, put a counter, and then we are going to play Agatha's Soul Cauldron, play this. We are going to tap this for legendary mana. We're going to cast this Grist, the Hunger Tide. We are going to exile Yawgmoth, and this is all a pretty strong stretch of if we're going to be able to do this. Like if this is going to work. But we got to see. We're going to put it on this. And then this is interesting. Our life total doesn't matter to the extent that like much of this. So we're going to wait until we get this first draw off. Yeah, for that reason. So we can try and get a land. And this means we can tap all of these to grab a Blood Artist. Which means we can dig for 2 Young Wolves in the first couple cards per se. We're going to put a counter there. We are doing our best here. There's no guarantee any of this works. Okay, we're going to save targets. Always yield. Always yield. That's not a Young Wolf. That's not a Young Wolf. That is a Young Wolf. We're going to always yield to this Young Wolf. Always yield. If we were to pay a green, we would not have the mana for the Young Wolf. We could uptick though and get a 1/1. No, we don't want to. We're gonna target here, sacking this. Okay, so we have 2 more draws. We're going to hit no. Sacrifice another creature, put a 1/1 counter on one target creature. Okay, so we're putting a counter there. And there's the Young Wolf. See, now that is how you win this game. Oh! It removed the counter, though. Never mind. Oh, never mind. We got it. Okay. So that was a very long way to kill. But we got it. We were able to kill through this, which is pretty impressive, I will say. And now we can go counter here, sacrifice this. We got to put those on the stack, and then we got to yield to abilities from this Young Wolf. Always yield. And then you sacrifice, target itself, sacrifice this other Young Wolf. And that was a crazy combo line. But nonetheless, we got it. Wow. Just barely, too. On the last draw possible, we were able to combo through this. This is a pretty good turn 4. But people often ask like how often you combo with Yawgmoth. It's not a ton, but it's mostly you combo in matchups like this where you need to kill them as quickly as possible. Like it's not like you're really gonna be able to disrupt them very well. We got another flare, which really doesn't matter. But wow, now that is an impressive kill. And we now are gonna finish this game up. Down to 1 life. Actually, we're gonna kill him with a flare. Because why not kill your opponent with a bit of a flare? In style, one might even say. Okay, so now we're in the post-sideboard games. We need endurance for sure. We need Soulless Jailer for sure. We want Fatal Push to kill the crabs. We could do Scavenging Ooze. It might be too slow. I think I'm going to bring in Reclamation Sage because I think you're probably going to be bringing something in tricky. Grist is probably a little bit too slow. Eladamri is going to be too slow. Chthonian Nightmare is probably too slow. Grist Voracious Larva is probably not good enough. And what's the last card? I don't think Orcish Bowmasters looks like it's going to be that good. So that's going to be our sideboarding. I appreciate all the follows, everyone. I'd cut both Nightmares. I was just thinking about looping Endurance, but yeah, I can see that. We'll put back in Orcish Bowmasters to synergize with Chord of Calling for Endurance. So we've got Soulless Jailer. That was a crazy combo line. I'm actually that was wild that we were able to kill there. Okay, so 2 cards and a bunch of lands is not going to be good enough. Yeah, we really just have nothing here, so we got to mulligan this. They mulligan to 6 cards. This is a turn 1 Halfling, Flare, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. On turn 3, we have... I think this is going to be enough. I'm going to put the Dryad on the bottom. Done. I think this is fast enough. We'll see. They are playing a Watery Grave. They're shocking it in. Okay, so they're pretty clearly holding up like a Fatal Push here, but doesn't matter. We're going to go Grist, Voracious, Larva, and then we're going to sack it to Flare. And for Flare, I think we're going to be grabbing Swamp, Forest, because, yeah, I think Swamp Forest is the move. And right now, the Agatha Soul Cauldron is pretty good. I mean, it's definitely slow, the Cauldron, but it's better than nothing. What are they going to do? What are they doing here? I think they were holding up a Fatal Push, but... Oh, they're otherworldly gazing. Okay. Hopefully they don't hit anything too good. They mulled to 6, which definitely means that they're definitely still in this game. It's not like they're out of it because they mulled once. They only put 1 card in the graveyard, so I don't know if that's good or bad for us. I'm genuinely unsure. If they play like a more mid-rangey game plan, I'm probably not too happy. Our Agatha Soul Cauldron can hit their otherworldly gaze too, unless they flash it back this turn, like right away. Which it looks like they might be doing. No, they're going with the Psychic Frog. Okay. I think we're pretty fine with that. We're going to play Cauldron. And theoretically, we could hit this otherworldly gaze, which is what I mentioned. But I think I'm a little bit more concerned with some of the other self-mill stuff. So I think I'm just going to let that be fine. And I'm just going to pass this back on to them. Now, what are they doing is the real question. Okay, they're playing Stitcher Supplier. Creeping Chill, I'm fine with that. We're going to just let that hit us. They hit a Haywire Mite too, but doesn't matter when that's in the graveyard. They're discarding a Wonder to give all their creatures flying. I am probably going to be hitting the Wonder, but I wouldn't block with the Delighted Halfling anyway. So I'm just going to let them draw their card. Now what are they doing? Oh, they're casting a Hedron Crab. Oh, but they had no land, notably. Okay. Putting a counter on this. A Boseiju. Did we bring in the Scavenging Ooze? Because the Scavenging Ooze would be pretty awesome right now. We brought in the pushes. We did bring in the Scavenging Ooze, which is pretty awesome. I am going to play a Swamp. And I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm not too worried about anything right now. They aren't imposing a major clock on us. Scavenging Ooze can provide some pretty good... Okay, they're casting Otherworldly Gaze. Ooh, a Grave Crawler. See, now they're playing this land. Citrus Supplier, Haywire Mite. So they haven't done anything too threatening right now. We could hit this Gravecrawler now, but I think I'm going to be more concerned about if they hit a Vengevine. So I am just going to wait. Yeah, so like that Vengevine's far more scary. They only have one card in their hand with their Psychic Frog. So this is a pretty safe block. Oh, but they're just going to give it flying. Okay. That's fine. You're going to get to draw your card. You draw your card. They have two cards in the hand. Probably just going to go to their end step. And then we're going to try and hit their Vengevine. But the question is, are they going to exile in response? Because they probably should. Interesting. They didn't. And then we're going to hit him with a quick Scavenging Ooze. Now that is an interesting draw. So here we are going to play a Yawgmoth. We're going to put a counter on this Hedron Crab, hopefully draw a 1-drop. We didn't draw a 1-drop, but that's alright. This is a difficult spot for sure, but it's interesting. We could proliferate the Hedron Crab, but with between the Scavenging Ooze and the Agatha Soul Cauldron, I'm not too concerned about it. Oh, also because of the Cauldron, we can activate the Scooze with mana of any color, which is pretty nice. Okay, they're casting Venture Deeper. They hit nothing of note. Well, they did hit a Psychic Frog, and a Psychic Frog's pretty good under a Cauldron. They only have one card in hand. They hit a Narcomoeba, but I am going to exile a Narcomoeba, because if they get a Narcomoeba back, it means they get a Prized Amalgam back. See, this is a bit odd. So they're giving it flying again, which makes sense. Alright, okay. They are attacking with the Stitcher Supplier. And, no, they are not. Okay, so we can't block. We're just going to take 2 again. They draw another card. If they hit a land, that's pretty bad in terms of the Hedron Crabs milling a bunch. We'd prefer them. Okay, they are just going to their end step. So I am going to... I'm going to hit a Psychic Frog with a Scavenging Ooze. Doesn't matter too much, whatever it is. Probably actually should have hit the Gravecrawler. Now, they might be realizing here they can remove the targets of our SKUs to prevent the value. They did. Okay. We're going to hit the Psychic Frog with the Cauldron. So the thing is that because they have to do this in increments of 3? Okay. So yeah, they are fine with us getting a Psychic Frog, which means we can now exile our graveyard, take our stuff flying, which is pretty sick. But we do want to... so this is pretty decent. This can get us a Dryad Arbor. So Dryad Arbor is going to mean that we can put a -1 counter on this Hedron Crab. We're going to put a -1 counter on this Psychic Frog, and we're going to ping it. Do they want to... So this is, again, being an interesting position. We do just, like, really want to get some value off of this. So... yeah, they have to discard a card here. They were fine with it. Okay. And we are going to proliferate. And the reason we can proliferate here with green mana is because of the Cauldron. So we're going to put a bunch of counters on everything. And then we're going to play this Boseiju. We're going to sacrifice the tapped one. And then we're going to be able to hold up both SKUs and Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And we're going to kill these Hedron Crabs. Use some good grindy games. Yeah, no, these are pretty interesting grindy games. I think they're definitely more fun than the turn 2 storm kills. Okay. So we're going to proliferate there, we're going to proliferate there, we're going to proliferate there, and we are going to proliferate there. Nope. Oh, we must have played a land already. Okay. Well, so we don't have... Oh, actually, we do have mana up because we can hit Dryad Arbor with our Cauldron if necessary. We are going to swing. And they're going to mill. And Narcomoeba would trigger the Narcomoeba would trigger the Prize Amalgam, so we're going to do that. And then we have the ability to give our stuff flying because of the Psychic Frog under there. We can also make them bigger by discarding cards if necessary. They have 2 cards in hand. We should be good here. Close enough to it. Okay, they're flashing back an Otherworldly Gaze. This is getting pretty grindy here. Ooh. A Creeping Chill right now is pretty good, I will say. Now, they can bring back that Bloodghast, but it's not that good. Okay, they have a crab. Do they have a land too? Okay, they do have a land. Are they going to bring back the crab? They could bring back the ghast, which does trigger the Prize Amalgam. Okay, there's a mouse again. Yeah, so because they stacked their triggers wrong, they only are getting 1 Prize Amalgam back. So I am going to block both of these. And I think I'm alright with that. They are going to mill another 3. They are triggering the Prize Amalgam, which triggers the other Prize Amalgam. But we should be able to just kill here, because this is 4, 5, yeah, so this should be enough damage. So we're going to cast this, and we're going to discard a card, Proliferate. I don't think there's really anything they can do here that I'm missing. So, yeah. We 2-0'd them. Another good win. I'm going to grab some water real quick while we're loading into this next game. Okay, we're now 3-0, which feels pretty good. Have not gotten a 5-0 yet, but we're not going to jinx it, so. There's a lucky. That was a clean game. I appreciate that. It was not a simple one, I'd say that for sure. We had to play that pretty well. Obviously, I made a couple mistakes. I forgot that I had played a land. just for some reason, whoopsie daisies. But overall, I think that was definitely a little bit of a hard one to navigate. Lord Egg. We've got a this is a pretty aggressive like combo kill hand, so, and this was just a good hand. Like, this is a turn 2 Grist. This has some extra lands. It's not great against a Grief Scam, but you can't have a perfect hand every time. Oh, but we kept we're on the, oh, our opponent has lost connection to the game. So, this might not be a big one. There's a chance they'll reconnect, though. Hopefully they reconnect. But at the moment, Lord Egg is not with us. Huh. Okay, they're back. We're just waiting. I'm going to skip this song, though, while we are waiting. Okay. I mean, it's definitely going to be Fetch Shock, grab Overgrown Tomb, Young Wolf, Flare, and then turn 2, play the other land, play Grist. And then from there, we're probably going to be going towards Yawgmoth. We also have this Boggart Trawler at some point along the way, either as a land or a creature. The pay 3 lifelands are very, very good, in my opinion. Just incredible. But our opponent is taking a second here for sure. Alrighty. They have begun the game with 7 cards in hand. We gotta be careful, make sure we hit the Overgrown Tomb. We're gonna shock it in. Cast this Young Wolf. Cast this Flare of Cultivation on the Young Wolf. And yet again, Flare of Cultivation is looking awesome. We're gonna put Forest into play. Okay, they played an Urza's Saga and an Ozolith. So, pretty strong start from them. This is Hardened Scales. However, this is a pretty aggressive combo kill line against Hardened Scales. We can, if this is a Blood Artist and a Young Wolf, we could play the Grist, or we could just try and kill them next turn with a turn 3 combo kill. It's a little hard to say. If they go with a like Walking Ballista next turn, we're in a worse spot. But I think we're just gonna go for the combo kill. Like, if we can just kill them next turn, like, that's a really, really nice aggressive line. And also, if they just like kill our Blood Artist here, we're still in a strong spot. I think just the upside of just these really aggressive hands is really high. Okay, so here they didn't do anything with this Urza Saga, but we're just going to go for it. And if they have it, they have it. But I think upside is just so far in our favor that we're just going to go for it. And yeah, so they conceded. We got a nice turn 3 kill. Pick your poison's good against them. Force of Vigor is good against them. Reclamation Sage is good against them. Fatal Push is good against them. I don't know if Scavenging is. So, Meat MTG has a great Yawgmoth sideboard guide. It's not up to date right now. That's because of the new format. But I do like to look at it sometimes just to see what someone else does. So, against Hardened Scales, he likes to take out his Orcish Bowmasters, 2 of his Grists, 1 of his Wall of Roots, 1 of his Stringer Geist, 1 of his Endurances, and he brings in Force of Vigor, Pick Your Poisons, 2 Fatal Pushes, and a Reclamation Sage. So, that looks pretty close to what we're doing. But we're going to take out this Grist. We're going to take out this Grist. We're going to take out... he said he likes to take out his Orcish Bowmasters, which seems a little bit odd. From what I know about Hardened Scales, Orcish Bowmasters is definitely one of the best cards against them, so I'm not going to take that out. Endurance isn't good against them, so I'm going to cut that. Chthonian Nightmare is not great. And Eladamri is probably a little bit slow. I'm going to take out a Springheart Nantuko, because it kind of folds to Walking Ballista pretty hard. And I'm going to take out another Springheart Nantuko. Yeah, I think just because it's so bad against Walking Ballista, and Walking Ballista is one of their best cards against us, we don't want to make it just even better. So we'll bring in some hate cards instead. This is a pretty aggressive hand. We're going to keep it. It gets a Yawgmoth on the field pretty quickly. They have a Hardened Scales turn 1, which is pretty good start for them. That's a great draw for us. That means actually next turn we have both Delighted Halfling and a Boseiju, which is really, really good. This is a great start to a game. I'm going to put the forest onto the field, and then we're going to send it back. And we also have a lot of other stuff available to us. Inkmoth Nexus. So a Patchwork Automaton is much harder for us to interact with. We need something like a Pick Your Poison. I'm going to cast a Delighted Halfling. And I am going to swing. And then I'm going to wait until they do something, and then I'm going to put I'm going to Boseiju with the Hardened Scales, because also we might want to hit like a Urza Saga or something like that. They are attacking with this 1/1. I don't really know what they could be grabbing here, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. I don't know what Flash Art... Oh, the Flash Artifact they could have is that new one. That new one, the Disruptor Fluid. I think that's what they have. So they might cast it here to get the extra counter on the Patchwork. They didn't. Okay. They grabbed a Forest. Oh, great. A Force of Vigor. Okay. So if we grab this Misty Rainforest... We're going to go with the Misty Rainforest, and then we're just going to pass turn. But yeah, we've got a lot of options here. This Force of Vigor is very, very good. We can even just hard cast Force of Vigor. If they supply us with targets, that is. Yeah, so the Disruptor Flute is what we were expecting. They might name Misty Rainforest, but I think it's unlikely. They're probably just going to name Yawgmoth. I don't think we care about this Misty Rainforest that much. They name Yawgmoth. Okay, an Arcbound Ravager. Arcbound Ravager is definitely very good. It's very good that we remove that Hardened Scales, I will say. So if we Chord we block, we remove that, and then we play a land. Okay. We are going to grab a Haywire Mite here. We're going to block, and then before damage, we're going to pop the Haywire Mite, and we're going to hit the Disruptor Flute. And then after that, we are going to hit the... Okay, so they are going to prevent it from getting exiled by sacking to the Arcbound Ravager, which is pretty good, but we are saving some life here. We're not taking any damage. Downside is small, the upside is they die. Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of people that like to play things safe, but I think they just don't understand like the games of I just win because I did the thing. That's mostly in regards to scam. Like, people keep mid-rangey scam hands, and that's just kind of unnecessary. Like, you can just simply kill them instead. Okay, so here we're going to shock. And we're going to pass back to their turn. And we're pretty clearly representing a Chord of Calling here. Okay, an Urza Saga. Urza Saga's fine. A Hardened Scales. Okay. What are they doing? A Walking Ballista. Okay. So, what does a Walking Ballista mean for us? I'm going to Chord. And then I'm going to do a little bit of sacking. Come on, give me the extra one. Now we want to hold this Pick Your Poison so we can use its mode to like hit the Urza Saga. Ooh, okay. They're targeting Dismember. We're just gonna let that happen. We're gonna let this be. We take 7. We're down to 10, and we have both the Force of Vigor and the Pick Your Poison here. This is another interesting decision. So we could kill the Walking Ballista and Arcbound Ravager, and then Pick Your Poison the... I think I'm going to kill the Arcbound Ravager and the Walking Ballista, and then I'm going to Pick Your Poison the Patchwork Automaton. They're going to ping our Yawgmoth, which is alright. I think they're going to sack it. Oh, okay. They're putting the counters on the Walking Ballista. They're going to put 4 counters on it. So they're going to kill the Walking Ballista. And they're going to put us down to 8. I'd be curious what your guys' lines are here. I think there's a couple different options. So our Force of Vigor is removed, and then we're just going to pick your poison. You sacrifice an artifact. I think Saga is pretty good here, but I think we're going to just have to bet that we can beat a Saga. If we can't beat the Saga, we can't beat the Saga. But I think this puts us in the best position to win. Okay, an Arcbound Ravager. An Arcbound Ravager is definitely good. A Yawgmoth. I think they might be able to just kill us here. But we'll see. Huh. Okay, so they create another construct. They're probably gonna give us a Boz. No, they got a drum. Ooh. So they're gonna sack there and they're gonna kill us. Okay. Okay. So that it felt like we could have won that game. It felt like we probably made a misplay that lost us that game. But we will see. Grist might be good because of the Death Touch. Did a few ways getting Inkmoth was 10 and 10 was another. Yeah, no, I was thinking about the Inkmoth one. I definitely thought they had the Inkmoth. Grist being just a lethal creature might be good enough. And we're going to do that. We don't want a mulligan. We're going to keep this. We have, if we draw lands, an absurd amount of interaction, and if we don't draw lands, we have a pretty decent amount of interaction. Like, best case scenario, they just play a Saga, and we just pick your poison it. And if they don't do that, it's still fine. Tingle, Horn... Okay, Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. We probably should kill that. We're going to make sacrifice an artifact. We are going to grab the Surveil land this next turn, and we're going to try and hit a land drop, and that way we can keep our Boseijus. You think one... Ooh, yeah, I could see Nantuko being more valuable than the 3-mana elf dude. We're going to fetch... What do we have on top here? A Young Wolf doesn't do much, so it does jump block, but we're not too concerned about that. Okay, we're going to play a Boseiju. We're going to play Grist. We're going to uptick Grist. We want to jump block with our Young Wolves, so we're just going to pass on turn. Okay, they're playing an Ancient Stirrings. What are they getting? They reveal a Forest. Okay. Oh, and an Urza Saga. Okay. Urza Saga isn't incredibly threatening. I think this means they have a Disruptive Flute. Now, we have this Chord of Calling. We could just play a Yawgmoth, but I think that that is not a great line. I think I'm going to go pick your poison on an enchantment. And then I'm going to hold up this Chord of Calling to exile. Yeah. So we can hold up this Chord of Calling to exile their Disruptor Flute through a Haywire Mite. Or we could also Boseiju it, but I like this line. Because also we can do the same thing of block with the Haywire Mite and then pop it. Okay, another Saga. Pretty good card. Ooh, now Agatha's Soul Cauldron is a good one. There's not much that the Cauldron really hits here, though, which is pretty good for us. I think the Haywire Mite is more important still. The Haywire Mite also does get got by the Soul Cauldron. But yeah, the Haywire Mite does get got by the Soul Cauldron, which isn't great for us. But you win some, you lose some, and also we don't have any great targets for the Haywire Mite right now. I mean, like as in they don't have anything to target with it. So we're going to be fine with that. Oh, no. Okay. So I wasn't expecting that protection spell. Now we could Boseiju this, but I think instead I'm going to we could Boseiju and deal with that, but we could also deal with it with we could also do the Grist thing, and I think I want to hit Grist or -2 Grist, sack Yawgmoth, kill the Patchwork Automaton to just deal with one of their creatures. They do get to hit our Undying creature, though. So I guess that wasn't great for us, but it doesn't matter too much, I don't think, right now. Yeah, they're going to hit our Undying creature. They get a counter. Our Undying creature goes away. That was a misplay, but you win some, you lose some. Okay, there's a counter goes on the Urza Saga. A 1 ring. Okay. I was not expecting the 1 ring. So I don't totally know how we're getting out of this. They are taking our Haywire Mite, but we're not too concerned about us not having a Haywire Mite. They're taking the damage. They're gonna probably create a construct token. No. Yes? Okay. Now what are they gonna grab? A welding jar. Okay, I probably should have... Okay, that is unfortunate. Interesting. Okay, Pithing Needle. So they are really locking us out of the game here. They have a lot of cards. We really need some strong draws here. We need like a Force of Vigor pretty much right now. So that is not a Force of Vigor. It is a blocker. Yeah, the One Ring is really, really good here. Okay, can they Ozolith here? Yeah, they're gonna Ozolith here. Yeah, this is a difficult situation. Not totally sure how we get out of this, if at all. Exile target non-creature enchantment. Is there anything we want to hit? Not particularly, but we'll go for this as a Vase. Yeah, they're hitting it first. The chemtrails, little brother. Yeah, they had a pretty solid setup here. It's unlikely we're breaking through this. Yeah, they've got 7 cards in hand versus our 2. Our best bet is Boseiju, but they have Welding Jar's protection, and the Welding Jar is really what like breaks it here. We weren't able to draw like a second piece of interaction here. So it is looking like the end of this game, but we'll play it out. We'll play it out for sure. There's a Hardened Scales. Played an Inkmoth Nexus. They're giving that thing flying. Okay, they want to kill our Grist. Oh wow, yeah, now they're gonna hit the, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The way we win here is by destroying their, or attempting to destroy their Disruptor Flute, they sack the welding jar, and we need to draw something that allows us to destroy the welding jar. Yeah, okay. They still get a land here, I think. Which is pretty good for them. But it doesn't matter that much. Oh, Disruptor Flute makes Yawgmoth cost more mana. So we can't even land him. We could Rec Sage. Okay, so our best bet is Chording for Bowmasters in response to the One Ring. Okay, they sacked it. Yeah, they sacked their One Ring. That was our best shot. Our board of 1/1s is not going to be able to surmount this, I don't think. But is there anything we can do? We have a Reclamation Sage. That reveals Springleaf Drum. I'm trying to think if there's any way we can break through this. Yeah, we're just gonna scoop it up here. Okay, so we lost to Scales, unfortunately. We got one more game. Hopefully we can get a 4-1 and not another 3-2. But we'll see. I feel like we definitely could have won that one. I just really feel like if there was something different that was done there, it would have been winnable. I don't know. I think that's going to be one of those ones that I'll look back and review. A really good way to get better at Magic is going back and looking at your previous games, thinking about it like that, because you'll see things in hindsight that you didn't realize in the moment. It is a little slow. We're going to mulligan. So like there, the Wall of Roots would have been better. We're going to drop this Haywire Mite because it's not as good as it is in a lot of the time. So Misty Rainforest, Breeding Pool. So just shocking in a breeding pool is a little bit weird. We're going to go Young Wolf, and we're going to sack to Flare of Cultivation. This could be like a Spell Pierce or something, but I think it's probably something weird. Is this a Spell Pierce? No, it is not. We're going to have the Forest enter tapped, and we are going to pass turn. Okay, so it is a Curator of Mysteries, and then a Street Wraith. Okay, so that makes sense. We're playing against, what's it called? Against Living End, which we have Maindeck Boggart and Maindeck, what's it called? The other one. Maindeck Endurance. So, we're probably a little too slow here, but we'll do our best. Depending on what they do here, I'm either going to get a Surveillant or a Young Wolf. Because a Young Wolf will come on back, and a yeah, Young Wolf should be pretty fine. They're gonna go for it? We're going to grab a Young Wolf, give us a little bit of time, but not likely to be good enough. Our best bet is winning these games post-board, because we'll have access to even more graveyard hate and stuff like that. Soulless Jailer's the real big ad. So if we Nightmare, get back Young Wolf, Nightmare, get back Young Wolf. Okay. So I'm going to cast Recurring Nightmare, get back Young Wolf, sack this Young Wolf. Oh. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to take some amount of damage, and then I'm going to go and try and combo off with whatever life I have left. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Oh, that's actually exactly 17. So, is there anything we can do? Probably not. We'd have to draw Yawgmoth. I'm just going to block there. I think I'm going to like 4 or something, 5. And they are cycling. They get to scry 1, but the scrying doesn't matter because they're going to search. we are taking 3 regardless. So to win, we have to draw Endurance, green card, and another Chord of Calling, like right off the bat. But it is technically possible. Okay, so... Oh. It didn't matter. We're just going to pack it up here. We now have to win the 2 sideboard games. And we'll see what he has for Living End. Cut Orcish Bowmasters, Wall of Rude, Strangergeist, and Shieldred for Endurance, Thoughtseize, Surgical Extraction. Yeah, we'll bring in Thoughtseize. And take out Grist. This is a bit of a difficult one. Alright, we'll send it back like this. We have Thoughtseize, some other stuff. Yeah, I think Nightmares could be too slow. I kept them in. Why did I keep them? I had a reason. I can't remember what the reason was anymore. So with Thoughtseize here, it doesn't have much else of a plan. I think I'm going to mulligan this, which feels a little bad. Well, this is also pretty bad. Do we want to mulligan to 5? Yeah, we're going to go to 5. Okay, this is better. It's not fantastic at all. We're just going to put 2 Nantukos on the bottom. Done. And we really got to draw like a chord here, pretty much. Funny enough, it might be good to bestow Nantuko here, so that way when our creature dies, Nantuko sticks around. Might be relevant. We're going to have the Swamp Interplay tapped, so that way we can cast the Nantuko and cast a green spell. Pass it on back. Awesome. And Endurance. Okay. We're just going to cast a Grist then. Hopefully Grist can start putting some key creatures in our graveyard. So that way when they fire off a Living End, we still have some stuff. They're doing something again. Cycling. It's kind of their whole thing, to be fair. Hopefully we can get like a double hit. A Boggart Trawler. Okay, that's pretty good. It's not fantastic, but it's fine. So we're really hoping they don't have a subtlety, pretty much. So we're hitting them to 8. We're going to cast Soulless Jailer. They put a subtlety into the graveyard, which makes you think they don't either have a blue card or they don't have a subtlety. Okay. So we're going to put this on top. Question is, do they have the second subtlety? If they have the second subtlety, that's how it goes. What could they have hit? Oh, Living End. Dang. We're going to cast by exiling a green card. We're Enduranceing. They have second subtlety. Okay, we got the game. Okay, we are playing for the 4-1 here. Alright, is any of this better? You think Chthonian Nightmare is too slow? That's pretty fair. I'm going to agree with you. And I'm going to bring in Grist. Do I want Scavenging Ooze? Is Scavenging Ooze better than Chthonian Nightmare? Probably. Alright, so we're submitting. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you. I did my best. I was thinking about that one too much. Okay, well this one. Okay. Keep. Is Agatha's Soul Cauldron that good? I don't think Agatha's Soul Cauldron's that good. I play Cauldron. Yeah, Cauldron's probably too slow. So we really got to draw something viable here. Okay, so them putting a subtlety into the graveyard is a real bad sign for us. I'm going to play this Young Wolf, but I'll pass turn. Okay, we really got to draw a something really relevant here, or else I think we're going to lose pretty hard. Unless they put that subtlety in the graveyard as like an intimidation tactic. Okay, that's a good sign though. Maybe they put it in the graveyard because they didn't have a land. Okay, so they missed a land drop, which is pretty pretty good for us. We're going to hit him for 1. Now Chord of Calling is a pretty good draw. Okay, they hit a land. Oh no! Okay, a Grief is pretty good here. I was not expecting the Grief. But they are lacking on lands. Oh no, I meant to bestow it. Misclicked. That's my bad. Wow. We got there. Okay. The curse has been broken. We got another 4-1. It is 1:30 a.m. for me. So I really appreciate everyone that was watching. This is the list I was playing. Let me pull it up. I can also send it into the chat. If you guys like the content, I would really appreciate a follow. I've only streamed a couple times now, so I really appreciate everything. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. It's pretty late, so, or at least for me. So I appreciate you guys watching with me, playing some games. I'm gonna be dropping the deck list in the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna be heading on out of here. Here is the deck list. Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for watching by. I feel like I've played the deck a lot. Oh, another thing is, I don't know if anyone knows this, but I also write articles for a website called Flipside Gaming. So I wrote a pretty long guide to Yawgmoth. It's a little bit outdated now because of MH3, but if you look up Yawgmoth guide, that's actually the first thing that comes up from Flipside Gaming. That's a really good resource. And then also I write stuff every other week just about Modern, stuff like that. And hopefully those resources can be helpful to you guys. Let me know. But before I close it off, I am going to open these chests, see what we can get. And hopefully it's good, but I don't know. We got 55 points, some lands, some new cards. We got some 6. Seems pretty good. I don't know what any of these cost on a Magic Online. I've been opening not because of the gambling, but just because of the because of the points. Yes, I would say Yawg is still playable. The thing is that it's there's a lot of Storm. It's also just a new format, so it's really hard to say is anything playable right now. It's a real brewer's paradise right now. Like, I am 1-1 right now against Storm with this current sideboard plan. This list is built against Storm pretty much. You bring in a lot of cards against them. Yeah, against Storm, I bring in these 10 cards. So, and that can usually provide me a good amount of disruption. So yeah. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming by. I'm gonna raid someone, but I gotta see who's online. Also, it looks like a lot of people left already of our viewers. Yeah, thank you for the follow. I'm gonna raid Young Dingo. So I gotta pull up the thing. I think it's. Oh, I appreciate that. /raid and then Young Dingo. Actually, we're gonna do System Mag. We're gonna go System Magic. I'm a big fan of System Magic too, by the way. Like, they're great. All right, have a good one. Oh, wait a second. I have to sign in, log in. All right, well, I'm gonna be ending the stream. Thanks everyone for coming by.